Okay, and now we are in October 1997. Um, so, a year, almost a little over a year later, um, Double Impact comes out. And I remember we got this as a single disc on the Dreamcast. It came with the first iteration of Street Fighter 3, which was New Generation, and then Double Impact. So I focused on Double Impact because that's the one that I played the most with. I was young. I figured like, well, I mean, they're the same game. Why wouldn't you pick the one that has like the better characters and stuff? Um, Now I know that there is something special with each iteration of even going back to Street Fighter 2, why they did that. But here you're going to see me pick Sean, not because he's the best in this game. It's just that that's the time that's the character that that was my main. That was my first main. I could safely say. And I remember my older brother telling me I should pick him because I thought at first it was because he isn't able to do Hadoukens. And that's what I was having trouble with because I could never do any of their special moves. That being said, what Double Impact brings to the table. This is Street Fighter 3. This is not Street Fighter Alpha. This is not Street Fighter Subtitle, whatever. This is the next game in the franchise for all intents and purposes. So I remember it being kind of weird, different, because you saw Oro and Elena and Dudley and stuff in that whole cast. I don't even think Chun-Li is in this one. So it was kind of like, who are all these new people? Like, I don't like. At first, I was like, there's nobody I can really pick, and that's when my older brother suggested Sean. He was good with Dudley and Ken, obviously. Alex was the new. He was supposed to be the main character, and it is the main. It is what's seen as the main character for Street Fighter 3. That's a thing with each numbered Street Fighter. There's some people say Guile, especially the movie Street Fighter 2, the movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, Guile was the lead in that movie, which I always thought was weird. Should have been Ryu. And then you got Street Fighter 3 with Alex, and then Street Fighter 4. Some say it was Abel. They were trying to focus in with Abel, and then Street Fighter 5. Who is in Street Fighter 5 that I felt like maybe Ed? I need to look. I haven't put too much time in Street Fighter 5. That it's going to be interesting going back to that game right before Street Fighter 6 comes out. But yeah, and then Street Fighter 6, you got Luke. He's the top billing. He's supposed to be the main character, poster boy. So that's interesting, and it always goes back to it being Ryu. I mean, I don't know why they just don't stick with Ryu. But this game holds a special place in my heart because funny story. So, like I've been saying, I'm about 12 at this time, I think. No, 1997. No, I was 8. Duh. Okay, no, I was 8. I never was able to do any special moves, or yeah, any special moves. And I remember that my older brother told me, "Hey, you should use the kick button when you're trying to do the special moves because it's the stronger way of doing it." Oh, hold on. This is something else that they introduced, pairing, which I'll get into after my story. So this whole time I've been trying to do Hadoukens, and I couldn't figure out why that quarter circle motion. I just couldn't figure it out. And then one day I was playing this just in training mode because, I really wanted to, I wanted to do it. I wanted to do a super move. I did it. I pressed the right punch button because a Hadouken is quarter circle punch button, and it came out. And I was just practicing. I remember practicing for like an hour that night with the Dreamcast, just doing it over and over again. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh man. I was on cloud 9. I was so proud of myself. And this was the game that did it. What's different about Street Fighter 3 is that there's no air guards, there's no alpha counters. Each character you don't have all of the characters' specials available to you at the start. You have to pick one and stick with it, and each one has a different bar. Length of a bar. Some are shorter, some are longer. You saw, apparently, again, I learned this many years after, fairly recently, if I'm being totally honest with you, about a year, maybe a year or two ago, maybe even 3, maybe. But Sean is the best character in the original and in this game, which I had no clue, which is very different. I knew that Sean was the worst character in Third Strike, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I knew, that was, if you played Street Fighter, you just knew that he was the worst. So when I was thinking back, playing this game, I'm like, I've always picked Sean in this game. I didn't know he was the best. And again, that's in the competitive level. Why is he the best? I don't know. I guess because his super, the Hyper Tornado super art is super linkable. Oh my god, that was embarrassing. Or something. I don't know. So that's one thing. You don't have all your super arts available to you. There's no level 1, level 2, level 3 gauges. Just you're banking a bar right there. Like I have 1, 2, and then it's blinking right now because it's letting you know that I have access to the gauge to utilize EX move. There you go, where he turns yellow. And that's just a faster, stronger version of the move, but the caveat is that you're using some of your super gauge to use that special move. So this is stuff that I've, again, fairly recently, again, I want to say maybe within the past 3 years, maybe even 2. Oh, that was ugly. That I've really utilized. Back then, I was still sticking with high punch, high kick, and it was only really until Anniversary Collection came out that I really appreciated Street Fighter 3. It was never my favorite one. I still got it because I love Street Fighter. I mean, I have the online edition on my PS3. But I never, it definitely wasn't my favorite one. I think it was my least favorite one. Because of the other thing, which I totally forgot, was pairing. Pairing was something that they introduced in this iteration, Street Fighter 3, and then from what I can tell, they really honed it in Third Strike. In New Generation and Double Impact, it was still kind of like iffy, kind of hard to pull off a parry. Apparently, the timing was a little bit odd, but in Third Strike they really refined it, and that's what the series is known for, is parrying. And you know, Evo Moment. I even forgot Evo Moment. I'm looking at 37. There you go. Evo Moment 37 with Justin Wong and Daigo is just. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that moment, and I'll get into that when I talk about Third Strike. I'll try to stick with Double Impact. So, you will see me doing medium punches every now and then. Maybe not with this fight because it was a little bit hard. But that's just me trying to build meter so that I can utilize an EX move or a super art. So with this playthrough, I'm actively trying to jump less. I'm trying to break that habit. As I said, while I'm jumping all over in there. I think I'm getting frustrated, that's why. Oro is a very interesting character. He's apparently like super old, and he actually, I thought this was cool, he actually is not missing an arm. He's got his arm tucked in his cloth. So he's purposely fighting with one hand because he is so powerful. I thought that was some cool lore. And then you got Elena. Dudley just passed. I thought he was an improvement from Balrog. You know, he had all these crazy cool combos. And then Elena, she's someone I picked in Third Strike along with Sean, and again only recently. These characters, you really I feel like the stages in Double Impact are better, though. I mean, the music's iconic in Third Strike, but the stages are like, oh, they're okay. But I feel like Double Impact has some cool stages too. Like right here, look, the stage transition. That's so cool. But yeah, Elena. She was a character that I didn't really play till a couple of years ago. She was in Street Fighter 4 also, so was Dudley, but I just never picked them. Or knew how good Elena was by Ultra Street Fighter 4. I had no idea, but these characters, they have their own quirks, and I feel like they're just as beloved nowadays within the fighting game community as the World Warriors. You know. Yeah, the computer starts kicking my butt after Oro then forward. And then yeah, see, I think this game added Akuma, I want to say. I don't think New Generation had Akuma. But yeah, that just goes to show how little I played New Generation. Yeah, a lot of people were hoping that Sean was gonna be in Street Fighter 5 or 6. I'm still hoping. We got his sister, Lara. Oh, there we go. Yeah, apparently Hyper Tornado is like his best super in this game, but I still like the Shoryuken super art. And then with throws in this game and in Street Fighter 2, having it be a punch button forward, I can never get the hang of it. Ooh. I'm much used to I wouldn't even say the low punch and low kick in Third Strike is any different either. Like, I still have a little bit of trouble doing that too, but the two punches in Alpha 3 is what I'm used to. Okay, and then we got Gil. I do like how there's a different final boss. Like in Street Fighter, you had Sagat. Street Fighter 2, you have Bison. Street Fighter 3, Gil. Street Fighter 4, Seth. And then Street Fighter 5 is Bison again. Never mind. So, yeah. Oh, almost. There we go. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, by this fight, I was like just trying to beat Gil. I threw the whole trying not to jump method out the window. Oof. Yep, kick my butt. One thing I don't think you're gonna see in this playthrough, but Gil does have a thing where if you don't defeat him quick enough, and you let his meter fill up, by the time you beat him, he'll activate it and use his resurrection, and it's like you have to fight him all over again. With him at full health. Well, you can interrupt it, but it's practically like quarter to, or like 3/4 to a half of life, and then there you are probably with like a quarter life. Yeah, I was just... actually surprised how well I did. I want to say it's this. Yeah, it's this one. Okay. There we go. Almost. Whew, he almost got his meter. So. And I always thought it was like ironic or maybe coincidental. Master Ken, I found the secret of my inner strength. You just begun your journey. It's time you realize that, kid. Yeah, that's... it kind of mirrored my journey with Street Fighter, because again, from me not being able to do any super arts or supers or super attacks or any special moves to to, you know, getting online and playing these guys that have been playing Street Fighter for years, and me being able to go toe to toe. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I could friggin' go one-on-one with Justin Wong or something, but, you know, knowing that I played against someone like Pikachu Akuma or something, like, yeah, that's cool. And then yeah, see here's Ken's stage with a boat, and in Third Strike it's just Alex's stage in the subway. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like that stage. It's just interesting that they switched it up like that. I do, one of these days I do want to like spend the time and practice pairing, because when you know, seeing those matches, you know, I'll never compete like tournament level. No, I'll never want to like do that, but I do love seeing like Justin Wong or Maximilian Dude play Third Strike, because you just have those hype moments, and when you get like see them get like a parry and then see all the, you know, see them parry all this crazy stuff, and oh yeah, I feel like Street Fighter 3 is the best Street Fighter to watch. It's not my favorite Street Fighter, but it's definitely like my second favorite. I think this is it. Yeah. Got the chip damage. Oh, that's right. Damn it, let me try again. In order to be the best, you must defeat Ryu. Don't come back until you've done that. I must go. Good luck! With Eliza. He's married to Eliza by now. And yeah, that was the other thing, that this is them, you know, after Street Fighter 2, older. This is like, I think Street Fighter 6 is after Street Fighter 3, chronologically. So, it's going to be good to see where these characters go. And then that ending, again, it's funny because by then we were playing with a bunch of my older brother's friends, Geraldo, Edgar, and so I can definitely resonate with that. Like, oh, until I beat them, I could beat Luis, which, funny enough, it would be the other way around, which I'll get into that story with the next Street Fighter, which is, yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 3, which came out in July 1998. So it was a busy couple of years being a Street Fighter fan. But yeah, that's the next one, and that's my favorite Street Fighter coming up.